Rain slammed against the grimy windows of the kitchen as steam rose from piles of dirty dishes. The clatter of plates and the hiss of boiling water filled the air. Another endless shift for the boy no one noticed. He scrubbed with numb fingers, shoulders aching, eyes dull with exhaustion. Just 15, an orphan with no name anyone cared to remember, and no place to call home. But today, something changed. He had found it, something small, something strange, tucked inside the old coat that came in with the morning laundry. He didn't know what it was exactly, but he knew it mattered. Maybe it was just a scrap of someone else's past. Or maybe, just maybe, it was the start of his own future. He hid it in an old cloth bag, the only thing he owned, and kept it close. Too close. Then they came. A shadowy man in a clean suit, too clean for this place, and two others with eyes that watched like wolves. They didn't ask questions. They just reached for the bag. "I won't give it up. This is all I have," he screamed, clutching it to his chest, stepping back into the steam and chaos. His voice cracked, but it rang out louder than any pot or pan ever had in that forgotten kitchen. The other workers froze. The men didn't. One of them moved forward. What was in the bag that made grown men come hunting? Why would a poor dishwasher be ready to fight for it with everything he had? He didn't even know what it was, but he knew what it asterisk meant asterisk. A chance. A secret. A way out. But now, with danger closing in, one thing was certain. He could run or he could fight. But he wasn't letting go. The boy's name was Eli, not that many people used it. To most at the back of Lefford's diner, he was just Kid or Hey You. He'd lived upstairs in the attic room since the old cook took him in years ago, after he was found sleeping behind the dumpsters. Eli never asked questions, never caused trouble. He washed dishes, cleared tables, and kept his head down. That was his life. Until today. The bag wasn't much, just an old canvas pouch with a drawstring patched in places. But inside was something wrapped in faded velvet. Eli hadn't dared to open it fully yet. He'd only seen the edge of something metallic, engraved with symbols he didn't recognize. It hummed faintly when he touched it, almost like it was alive. And now, somehow, someone knew he had it. The suited man hadn't spoken a word. His eyes stayed locked on Eli, calculating, cold. The others flanked him, tense and ready. Eli backed up, the wet tile slick beneath his shoes. Behind him was the walk-in freezer, small, dark, and with no way out. But he couldn't run out the front either. That would mean crossing the dining room, past the customers, past the manager who would never believe a word he said. And that bag, if he let go of it, he'd lose the one thing that might finally explain who he was. Where he came from. Why he always felt different. Something wasn't right about these men. They weren't police. They weren't from child services. They hadn't shown badges or said his name. They wanted the item, not him. And that made it worse. Because if what he had was valuable enough to send people like this, then Eli had no idea what kind of storm he'd just stepped into. Eli's grip tightened around the bag as he stepped back, eyes darting between the three men. One of them, the tallest, shifted slightly, revealing something beneath his jacket, something that caught the dull glint of the overhead lights. Not a gun, but not friendly either. Eli's heart pounded harder. This wasn't a random shakedown. They were prepared for something more. From the corner of his eye, he saw Matteo, the line cook, watching from behind the grill, spatula frozen midair. Matteo gave the smallest shake of his head, as if warning him not to do anything reckless. But it was too late for that. Eli had already crossed some invisible line the second he took the item. Whatever it was, it didn't belong to just anyone. And it definitely wasn't lost by accident. The man in the suit finally spoke, voice low and smooth. "Give us the bag, and no one gets hurt. It doesn't belong to you." Eli swallowed hard. "It's mine now," he said, though he wasn't sure why the words came out like that. Strong, certain. His voice didn't feel like his own. In another part of town, a woman sat alone in a cluttered apartment, staring at a news clipping about a diner fire from 15 years ago. Her fingers traced the headline, "Asterisk mystery child survives blaze. No relatives found." Asterisk, she glanced at a symbol burned into the edge of the paper, the same symbol Eli had glimpsed on the object. She didn't know his name, but she was looking for him too. Back in the kitchen, the men took a step forward. Eli's back hit the freezer door. He had no plan, no idea what would happen next. But one thing was clear. Whatever was in that bag wasn't just valuable. It was dangerous. Eli's breath came in short, sharp gasps. His fingers curled tighter around the bag, pressing it to his chest like a shield. The freezer door behind him was cold against his back, but his skin burned with fear. The suited man took another step forward. Calm, patient. Like he had all the time in the world. The two others flanked him, ready to trap Eli in. The kitchen had fallen silent. Even the fryer stopped crackling, as if the whole place held its breath. Eli's eyes flicked toward the back exit, the one delivery guys used. But he'd never make it, not with them this close. His only chance was to distract them. Or trust someone. Matteo was still watching. He looked down, then slowly moved toward the counter. No one else moved. The customers beyond the swinging kitchen doors kept eating, laughing, unaware of what was unfolding just a few feet away. "I'm serious," Eli said, his voice shaking but loud enough. "If you come closer, I'll—" He didn't even know how to finish the sentence. The man smiled. "You don't even know what you're holding, do you?" "I know it's mine," Eli said. The object in the bag pulsed faintly again, like it could feel the tension too. For a split second, everything around him faded, like time slowed, and he saw something. A flash of fire, the sound of shouting, and someone's voice screaming his name. It vanished in an instant. Then chaos. One of the men lunged forward. Eli ducked instinctively, swung the heavy dish bin on the counter into the attacker's path. Pans crashed. Matteo yelled. Steam burst from a broken pipe. In the blur of motion, Eli ran, not for the exit, but toward the one place no one would expect. Upstairs, toward the attic. Toward the only place that had ever felt like his. Eli raced up the narrow stairwell, the sound of boots pounding behind him. The attic door groaned as he shoved it open and slammed it shut behind him, twisting the rusted lock. His chest heaved as he backed away, bag still pressed tight against his chest. Dust swirled in the air, lit by the flickering bulb overhead. The room was small, bare mattress, broken chair, stacks of old newspapers, but it was his. It was the only place that had ever felt safe. But even here, he wasn't alone. A figure stepped from the shadows. Eli froze. It wasn't one of the suited men. It was someone he'd never seen before, an older man with weathered hands and eyes that looked too tired to be surprised. He wore a coat several sizes too big and held a folded paper in one hand. Eli didn't speak. Neither did the man. Not at first. "I knew you'd come up here," the man said finally, voice rough like gravel. "You don't know me, but I've been watching you for a long time." Eli took a step back, cornered. "Who are you?" The man didn't answer right away. Instead, he held up the paper. "You're not just some orphan. You were part of something that was buried years ago. That thing you're holding, it wasn't meant to survive, but you did." Downstairs, the banging on the attic door started. The lock shuddered. The man stepped forward. "You need to leave. Now, not out the front. Not down the stairs. There's another way." Eli stared at him. "Why are you helping me?" The man looked at the bag, then back at Eli. "Because if they get what you have, it won't just be you in danger. It'll be all of us." The lock cracked. The door began to open. The attic door burst open with a loud crack, splinters flying. The suited man stepped in first, eyes locking onto Eli. Behind him, the two others moved fast, ready to corner him. But the old man didn't flinch. He yanked a loose board from the wall, revealing a narrow tunnel behind it. Dark, cramped, but just wide enough. "Go," he shouted. Eli hesitated for half a second, then dove in, clutching the bag. The tunnel dropped steeply, twisting through the old bones of the building. Behind him, he heard shouts, footsteps, then nothing but his own ragged breathing. He tumbled out into an alley, scraping his palms on the cold pavement. The bag was still with him. The object inside now glowed faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Eli turned it in his hands, finally unwrapping it fully. It was a small disc, metallic, covered in those strange symbols. And now they were lighting up, one by one. He didn't understand how, but something inside told him it was responding to him. His presence, his blood. Before he could think, a car pulled up fast, Matteo behind the wheel. "Get in," he yelled. They sped through the back streets, headlights off, heart pounding in Eli's chest like a drum. He glanced at the disc. Something clicked. A faint projection rose above it, blue light forming a map, coordinates, and a single line of text. Asterisk asterisk return to origin, before it finds you. Asterisk asterisk. "What asterisk is asterisk that thing?" Matteo asked, eyes wide. Eli didn't answer. He didn't know. But now the bigger truth started forming in his mind. He wasn't just running asterisk from asterisk something. He might have been made asterisk for asterisk something. Then came the twist, flashing lights ahead. A roadblock. And standing in the middle was the woman from the newspaper. And she was holding a disc of her own. The car screeched to a stop. Matteo slammed on the brakes just in time. Eli stared through the windshield, frozen. The woman stepped forward slowly, her disc glowing with the same faint blue light. Her eyes locked on Eli, soft but serious, filled with something he couldn't quite name, recognition. He stepped out of the car, holding his disc tight. The two glowing objects pulsed in sync, casting strange patterns across their faces. "You don't know me," she said quietly, "but I knew your mother. She died protecting that piece. And protecting you." Eli's throat tightened. "Who are they?" "People who tried to erase the truth," she replied. "About who you are. About where you come from." She explained everything. Years ago, a group had discovered something ancient beneath the city. Technology no one could explain, left behind by a forgotten civilization. The discs were keys, not weapons. They held knowledge. Power, enough to shift the balance of everything. Eli's family had been chosen to protect one of them. But then greed got in the way. The group split. Some wanted to guard it. Others wanted to use it. That's when the fire happened. That's when Eli was lost. And now, after all these years, the two keys were together again. Eli stood in silence, staring at the glowing discs. The danger had passed for now. The men in suits were gone. Matteo leaned against the car, still watching, still stunned. And Eli. He wasn't just a dishwasher anymore. He wasn't an orphan. He was a guardian of something bigger than himself. He looked at the woman. What happens next? She smiled. We go back to where it all started. As the first rays of dawn lit the sky, Eli climbed into the car, the bag still in his lap. The weight no longer felt heavy. It felt like purpose.